Hello, lady gents, and all you other folks forced into focusing on my videos by fate's fearful enterprise.
Alliteration, baby.
Waxing poetic. Okay, so today's question is, can you be both strong and flexible? Now, intuitively, because by definition everything in measure is good, of course you can. So the real question is, to what degree can you be maximally strong and flexible while maintaining your health? Okay, so in order to answer this question, we need to talk about purpose, because depending on what you want to accomplish, that will determine precisely what admixture of training elements you will implement. Let's use the example of strength. Strength is an umbrella term under which there are many different types and distinct disciplines. So, in the sport of strongman, the purpose of strength is to lift extremely heavy external loads using specific movement patterns like the squat or the deadlift. In the sport of gymnastics, the purpose of strength is to manipulate your body in space. In other words, it's calisthenics oriented, and it does this through movements like the iron cross or the planche. Because the neurophysiological adaptations required for each sport are much different from the other, their respective training methods are likewise extremely disparate, and the one type of strength in no way aids in the other. And this same logic applies to flexibility. So the terms mobility and flexibility go hand in hand and are often used interchangeably, but there are actually some important differences between them that I want to expand upon for the sake of nuance and clarification. So this is subtle. Flexibility describes your muscles' ability to stretch, and mobility describes the range of motion of your joints. This distinction is important because although flexibility and mobility are not mutually exclusive, and you can't have one without the other, you can affect to what degree you have one with the other. And finding that balance between them is an important determinant for how safely you can engage in a particular strength discipline. So how does that work exactly? Ligaments are the connective tissue that attach bone to bone, and tendons are the connective tissue that attach muscle to bone. Both of them have necessary but limited elasticity. If you stretch them beyond a certain percentage of their original length, they will lose their tensile strength and not be able to rebound and snap back into their original length, which would be a problem because it would damage the integrity of the joint. Now, the breaking point for these tissues always varies from person to person, but to some degree, you are stretching them when you stretch your muscles. That's why if you consistently force your body to stretch beyond the natural limits of your ligaments and tendons, you can acquire very flexible muscles, but you won't have any mobility, any ability to move your joints, because your joints are destroyed. And this is the case with gymnasts. When they come into physical therapy and complain of lower back pain, unlike you or me, who usually suffer from low back pain because we're too stiff, we've been compressed from sitting a lot, they suffer from low back pain because they're too loose, they're stretched out, they have no stability in their low back. Conversely, a lack of mobility or stability can affect negatively your flexibility. So for example, if you have a muscle that crosses many joints, like the hamstring, that can be hypertonic, that can be too taut just because your pelvis is anteriorly rotated. So that misalignment of your pelvis forces your hamstring to fire up and be super taut. If you would just realign your pelvis, you'd get a lot more elasticity in your hamstring, which would enhance your flexibility just by fixing your alignment and your stability rather than stretching more. Interestingly, although in the aggregate people who are double jointed are more likely to develop arthritis, within gymnastics and soccer, there's no indication that double jointedness actually leads to more injuries in the sport. So there you go, it just depends on the person. Additionally, the more flexible you are, the more tensile strength your muscles need to endure the load while in stretch so that they can snap back without tearing. This is why in the sport of strongman, being abnormally flexible is disadvantageous, because when you're lifting 1,000 pounds, your body cannot afford the extra stress of hyperflexibility. That's why strongman athletes are much more likely to focus on training mobility than they are on flexibility. Their concern is to have stable, mobile, warm joints whose full range of motion will allow them to activate all the potential strength in the specific muscles they need to perform a particular movement pattern safely. So what can we take away from all this? Obviously, as I said in the beginning, it's measure. You can have all three of these things and you will enjoy your body way more if you do have them in tandem, but you can't have all of them to excess, okay? Pan metron Ariston! It's Greek, sorry. You can be strong and flexible and mobile within limits. If you want to be maximally strong, you cannot simultaneously be maximally flexible and expect to be safe and healthy. Alrighty, so that concludes this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any fitness questions, please let me know of them so that I can research them and then we can all learn something new. It would be awesome, and I can't wait to do another video. It will be amazing. Peace. Bye-bye.